What's happening, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Mikel Arteta, and this is about last night's game with our 1-0 loss at Manchester City, getting kicked out of the FA Cup. Now, as it says in the title, did Mikel Arteta take it too far? Now, in my match reaction yesterday, I stated that, and I said it in my match preview as well. I said that, the only con of going through in the FA Cup, even though this is small club mentality, is, say, if we were to reach the semi-final of the FA Cup, that means Premier League games will go on the same time on that same weekend. And depending on what's going on, Man City could temporarily be top of the table, and then there'll be even more pressure on us to win the game in hands and everything like that. Now we don't have that kind of worry because Man City have obviously progressed further, which is small club mentality. But at the same time, you have to look at it from a place of Arsenal's a big club and we're supposed to behave like a big club. Now, Arteta did make a load of changes last night. Some would say, he went too far with that because we don't play until like next Sunday. So, there's even more incentive to really go strong all the way. You know what I mean? Some people would argue, well, players get injured. I mean, apparently Partey's picked up an injury now. So, it's just one of them things. You know what I mean? Because he's our best midfielder, and when he's not there, there is a difference. You know what I mean? It makes it sound like a one-man team, but just in that midfield alone, there is that difference when he's there and when he's not there. You know what I mean? So some would see it as Arteta is still disrespected the competition because he obviously didn't take it serious enough to want to field out a strong team against a team like Man City to progress further. Now, let's not forget, Arteta, is cemented his place at Arsenal because he won that FA Cup in 2020. You know what I mean? He won that trophy. That's the only trophy he's won for Arsenal, right? Unless you want to include the Community Shield as well. But the FA Cup's the only major trophy that he's won at Arsenal. And he's, not only last season we got knocked out by Forest, now we've been knocked out by Man City. We've been knocked out early now. You know what I mean? Before, we were at least getting to round 5 quarters. And obviously the past few times, from 2014 onwards, we've seen 4 finals and won them all. You know what I mean? So it's a competition that Arsenal have won the most. And it's like, I can see both sides. The side that I came from was the small club mentality side, which, I still stand by the fact that, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like this, right? Yes, we've signed Trossard. Yes, we've signed Jakub Kiwior, right? But we know that we need strength in depth in the midfield. We know we need that. I don't believe Arsenal are going to splash another 50 plus million on a player in this window. You know what I mean? I just don't. But we'll see. Maybe something's going on right now, right? And I'm looking at it as we're still quite light. Obviously, Jesus is still injured, so it's not like... So Nketiah's going to have to pretty much play every single game going forward until he's back at least. I'm looking at it at this, like this. City have more of a depth to be competing for the FA Cup as well as the league title than we do, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't still compete for the FA Cup. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping now that this don't bite us in the ass, because the league title, it's not a trophy that, when you look at it, it's not even a trophy we're supposed to be going for, if you know what I mean. Like, we finished 8th, 5th. Like, how dare us be competing for the league title, you know what I mean? So, let's just hope that this don't bite us in the ass, because last season, we were out of all the competitions, we had the top 4 to aim for, and we bottled it. Nothing says we won't bottle the league title. I've always maintained my stance. I don't believe we're going to win the league. Don't believe it. You know what I mean? I just don't believe it. I don't believe that this team is going to have the minerals all the way up till May. Man City are more than capable enough of clawing their way back. We've seen it. We've seen them claw their way back. You know what I mean? And can you imagine the scenes if Man City were to claw back? Let's just say we end up pulling 8 points clear. Let's just say that Spurs magically beat Man City, right, in the league when we all play next, and then we beat Everton. We overcome that hurdle of new manager syndrome that Everton will have, where they'll play out Barcelona now, right? Let's just say we pull 8 points clear, right, and we've maintained at least 8 points being clear for most of the rest of the season. Can you imagine if the last few games, just like we bottled top 4, that we did the same thing again? Oh my God! Just imagine. We lost last season 3 games in a row. Palace, Southampton, Brighton. Ultimately, it was losing the Spurs game and the Newcastle game that confirmed it that we're not getting top 4. You know what I mean? And all season we looked like we might get it, even though I said all season last season we are not getting top 4. You know what I mean? There's no justification now for us not to be pushing on even more. Now we made 2 signings in the window. You know, we're still looking at a midfielder, so whether we'll get the midfielder or not, we will see. But you know, it's, the more I think about the whole thing right now, the more I get a bit worried. You know what I mean? Because realistically, although you can see it as, oh, well, that's a game that FA Cup we don't have to worry about, blah, 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 blah. We should still be competing for that. That's a trophy that Arteta won. So realistically, he should be looking at that as, I'm going to do it again because I've won this before. You know what I mean? But instead, he made all those changes. I did say that the players that I expected playing pretty much played. You know what I mean? The players pretty much played that I expected. That's because I know Arsenal Football Club like that. I know how we move. To be fair, if Wenger was still manager, he'd have made them same changes. I believe he would have made all those changes. It's giving other players a chance to play a game. It's just that because it was Man City, that's what makes it worse. You know what I mean? Because that's what makes it worse. Now, some people can look at it as, and this is how I looked at it as well. You know, Man City was struggling against us, which, to be fair, especially in the first half, they were. You know what I mean? Man City shouldn't be struggling against a team that made 6 changes. You know what I mean? They pretty much kept their strong lineup apart from the goalkeeper and a couple of players. You know what I mean? And then they got a 1-0 win, the script, a 1-0 win. I said it, and I'm going to keep saying it. The script, the 1-0 win, it's a scrape when you're doing almost next to fuck all game, and it takes a defender to just have that lucky pass of a shot that rolls in. Nathan Ake of all players as well. I don't even rate him either. You know what I mean? And he's the one that blew scored. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, let's just hope that he doesn't bite us in the ass, because you know I can see why people think Arteta took it too far, because we don't play until next week. You know, we should have played the usual suspects that would play, and then have the ones that did start on the bench. But at the same time, I don't believe Man City are going to do the treble over Arsenal this season. They've already beaten us once now. We should at least take 3. If we don't take 3 points off Man City, if we only take 2 points off Man City, drawing both games, not good enough. You know what I mean? We should, by standard, just at least take 3 points. I would say, going by how we've been playing this season, we should technically do the double, or at least 4 points, really. Bare minimum 3 points. But, you know, 4 points. I mean, we shouldn't be losing to them in the league. Brentford went there and won. Everton got a draw there. Tell me that Arsenal can't go there and get something? Nah, man. Nah. You really tell me? Everton took a point at Man City. Brentford took 3 points at Manchester City, right? a man's going to tell me that Arsenal can't go there in the league and get something. Oh, hell no. You know what I mean? A man trying to tell me that because I ain't hearing that. I ain't hearing that. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But the way we bottled top 4 last season, I'm kind of getting them vibes again. I know we're only approaching February, but come on now. This is why I'm getting gassed. There's Arsenal fans that still think we're going to win the league. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how we bounce back from this. We'll see how we bounce back. Now, there's no excuse now, really. Yeah, we've got Europa League, but Europa League comes on a weekday. Weekday, and the Premier League games are weekends. So, just like last season, we had no excuse to bottle top 4 because we didn't have no more distractions. You know what I mean? Surely, from where we are right now, we should be pushing on and trying to get that league title. I want a double anyway. I want the league and Europa League double. It's too much to ask for, but we're not in the FA Cup now. The only trophy that Arteta's won, right? We're not in it now, so we'll have to deal with it. So now we're going to have to take advantage of us not having the FA Cup distraction because Man City will probably get to the semi-final anyway. You know what I mean? And as long as we keep doing what we're doing in the league, if we keep winning, most of our games the way we've been doing all season, because Man City, they'll malfunction at some point. You know what I mean? They've been malfunctioning all season. I don't believe Man City will go unbeaten for the rest of the season. But if they do, we have to. We have to. This is why I keep saying you have to damn near go invincible if you want to win the league title over Man City. You know what I mean? I know they'll have the Champions League and they'll win it, they'll really want to win that. And I personally think that this might be their year to win it. It might be, right? And if they get to the final of the Champions League, maybe they might end up taking, you know what I mean? Might be some more malfunction in the league because of that, maybe. You know what I mean? But I believe if Man City win it, Pep walks, in my opinion. Pep's just sticking around to try and win the Champions League now. Since 2019, he's been sticking around to try and win the Champions League because end of the day, 2019, the guy won the domestic treble. All he needs now is, Champions League. I don't think he really care about trying to win the Super Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll care about that. The Champions League is what he wants to win. And I believe that if he wins it, he's walking. And if we're champions already, right, then it puts us in pole position for maybe to try and retain it should we win the league this season. But I still don't believe we're going to win the league. You know what I mean? Some would say, oh, well, look how you've been playing. In my opinion, I haven't seen enough. That's what I see. I haven't seen enough. I've seen enough to say we'll get top 4. Surely we'll about that. But as for the title, sorry, it's the depth. It's not even about the players that are currently playing good. It's just the depth. Because, these group of players that are playing well, they're not going to do that every single game. We're only human. You know what I mean? And it's just that depth. But if we get that midfielder in that can replace Partey and is a good replacement, then I'll be edging closer towards maybe. You know what I mean? But right now, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's possible. But until we're in a position that Liverpool win in 2020, Liverpool were just blitzing. They blitzed. You know what I mean? Then Man blitzed and Man City malfunctioned. You know what I mean? And Liverpool were just points ahead, man. They were just points ahead. So, yeah. Teams below us. The thing is, people say, oh, well, we should only focus on us. We should only focus on us. Yeah. But at the same time, the teams below us, you want them to lose games as well because the more games they lose, while at the same time, the more we win, the more we pull away, the quicker it is to winning the league title. That's why Liverpool won it quite early in 2020. because teams below them, they were just dropping off while they just kept winning and winning and winning and winning. That's what I want us to do. You know what I mean? Man City play Spurs. They go to Spurs next weekend, right? There's Arsenal fans that are still having that notion that you should never want Spurs to win no matter what. Sorry, I disagree. Spurs are playing a team that is realistically now the only threat to us when it comes to trying to win this league title. You tell me you don't want Spurs to beat Man City? What, just because Spurs will get 3 points? Spurs are no threat to us. You know what I mean? What threat are Spurs to Arsenal right now? You know what I mean? A few measly 3 points, a measly 3 points from Spurs against Man City won't hurt. It'll benefit us. So yes, whenever Spurs play a team, whenever Arsenal are top of the table, right, and the team second are playing Spurs, I'm going to want Spurs to win, unless it's getting Spurs closer to us. If it's a case of Spurs are third and they can get second by beating second, then yeah, I wouldn't want Spurs to win, right? But anything that benefits us, I'm taking it as an Arsenal fan, because that I want my club, I want this club to get the best that we can get. Why am I going to sit there and be like, oh no, I still want to? You know what I mean? The other night, last week, when Spurs were 2-0 up against Man City, I was glad. But then Man City crawled it back, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Imagine if Man City lost that game. You know what I mean? Like, you lot don't know what we're up against, do you? You know what I mean? All the Arsenal fans out there that still have that, oh no, even though Spurs play Man City, I still want Spurs to lose. You have no idea what we're up against them, do you? Have you not seen Liverpool literally almost go invincible and still not win the league? They only lost one game that season and drew quite a few. That's still not enough to get over Man City. You know what I mean? You man don't understand what we're up against, because if you did, you'd never want Man City. You'd never want the team that's second to us in the league to beat Spurs just because. You wouldn't. If you really knew what we're up against, I know what we're up against. One, that's why I don't think we're going to win the league. Two, that's why I want Spurs to beat Man City, and I want them to beat Spurs. I want Spurs to beat Man City when the next play, because I know what we're up against. We need Man City away from us as far as possible. We need to get to the stage Liverpool got to in 2020 when they were, how many, was it 20 points or something like that ahead? And they only needed 2 more wins. It was damn near impossible for Liverpool to not win the league from that position. That's where we need to be. None of this, oh, well, we're 3 points ahead going into the last game. I don't want to be there. Man City have never bottled the league title like that. Look at 2012. Goal difference was what won them the league. 2014, Liverpool fell off after they dropped off from their game in hands, and Man City capitalised. 2018, I think, was just a casual win for Man City. It was 2019 where it was just a point. He went to last day, and 2022. You know what I mean? I don't want to be 3 points ahead on going into the last game. I want to be light years ahead, like Liverpool were. That's where we need to be. So this whole shit about, oh no, I don't want Spurs to beat Man City on weekend. Then you have no idea. Then you need to go look back. You need to go look at the 2012 season climax, the 2014 season climax, the 2019 season climax, and the 2022 season climax. Go look at that. Then tell me that you still want Man City to beat Spurs, right? To climb within, to keep that 5-point gap. Should we beat Everton? If we don't beat Everton, it gets even closer. You know what I mean? So, like, fuck, am I going to want Man City to get anything at Spurs, right? When I know Spurs could technically do us a favour, even though I know they won't. Oh, hell no! Because Spurs being Spurs, they're going to throw the game. That's what they'll do. Bruh. They'll throw the game. I'm telling you right now, Spurs will throw that game. Spurs will do fuck all. Look at the teams that have won at Spurs. Spurs will throw that game. They'll try and talk that shit after they've lost, because it's gonna happen, right? After Spurs lose to Man City, because they'll lose on purpose as well, because they know that it will benefit Arsenal if they beat him. They'll talk some shit about, oh, we're all disappointed and all that.
Stop the cap.
You know what I mean? They'll talk that noise when really they're happy that they've lost, because they know that it keeps pressure on Arsenal. You know what I mean? If Spurs were top, right, and we were playing Man City, it wouldn't hurt too much if we lost. If we were in Spurs' position right now, it wouldn't hurt as much as usual. You know what I mean? But then again, Spurs are the smaller club, and smaller clubs tend to have the mentality of, I would take losing for the rivals not to benefit. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I decided to do this on StreamYard because I thought, let me just get all this off my chest, and I might as well just do it instantaneously instead of pre-recording it and then editing it and whatever. So yeah, like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace.